All right, we are live with writer, director, actors, and co-producers from Dinner America. My name is Jim Brunzell. I'm the festival director of Sound Unseen, and I want to thank also our sponsors, KUTX, The Current, Fantastic Fest, and KFAI 90.3 FM, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on this live Q&A with writer-director Adam Rehmeire.
Good, thank you. Hey.
Yeah. Co-producer Lucy Moroukian.
Wow, I love that. Moroukian. I like
that. Yeah. Moroukian. I don't know. And actors Kyle Gallner and Emily Skeggs. Thank you, everyone.
You did so well with Lucy right before.
I know. Well, a lot of pressure.
Performance anxiety.
Yeah. So, well, no, I mean, thank you, everyone. Obviously circumstances are very bizarre.
Yeah.
We would have loved to have you in either Twin Cities or Austin, Texas. This stream is available worldwide, so we have people all over the world watching it. Yeah, so
wow.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure.
But thank you again, everyone, for this amazing film that we're so excited to screen as part of the 21st Annual Sound Unseen. All right, I'll get right into it. So, Adam, I'm going to go to you first. And doing a little research on this film, talk about sort of the construction of the film and how you put it together. It sounds like Dinner America came from two different ideas, from something called Kicks and something called Dinner in America.
Jim does his homework, he gets in there, does the research. I'm impressed. No, seriously, it was two ideas that both were kind of writer's block ideas where I just, the elements with Simon came to me like around 2006, just a snippet, a flash of a character. And so I jotted it down, and then much later was kind of sketching when I had writer's block what became Patty and her family. So they were two separate things that were kind of not going anywhere in the threads that I had them going. So it seemed at some point like if I merge them together, it would become an interesting movie. So that's it. This whole thing kind of evolved out of having two things that weren't working, but characters that I liked doing stuff with. And so I decided to put them all together. And this is the result, this film.
So if you came up with the original idea almost 14 years ago, how long did it actually take you to kind of write the complete script and then sort of move forward with it?
I wrote a draft of the film in like 2014. I think it was 2014. So I wrote a draft there and then revised that. And that is the actual shooting script we used. So hadn't been modified before we shot. I think it was the exact same script from 14, the second version.
Okay. And I'm going to now move on to Lucy. And you're a co-producer in the film. So how did you sort of get attached to Dinner America, and how do you know Adam?
Yeah, so the producer I worked with on this project were Ross Putman and Dave Hunter, and I have been working with them since 2014. So I had heard Ross mention this project before, and then was kind of between projects and got a text from Ross like, hey, do you want to come out to Detroit this weekend? We're making a project. And drove down and lived there for 3 months, and it was really wonderful. So I had never met Adam before we got to Detroit, but it was a lovely little family we made there.
Right on. And I do have to give a shout out to Ross, because Ross is a friend and he's the one that connected Sound Unseen, myself, with the film as well. And yeah, we'll go to Emily and Kyle, the heartbeat of the film. So much so, this is such an unpredictable film, and that's, I think, why we love the energy and the craziness of it all, but it does have a heart at its center. And talk about, whoever wants to go first, how you got attached or involved with the film, And what was the process working on it with Adam and Lucy?
Kyle, I love your story. You want to tell yours first?
You want me to go first? All right.
Yeah, I love your story so much.
So I I read a couple of years ago for another film that Ross was producing that I just was not right for. But Ross liked me, and he somehow got somebody to email me this movie, and I was in the middle of filming a TV show, and like I had brand new babies, and everything was like super hectic. I read the first I read the title of it in like the first 10 pages, and I think like somebody probably threw up or did something. Then I was like, oh shit, I have to go. And I just never got back to it. Cut to, I don't know, Adam, was it 3-4 years later?
Yeah,
3
something like that.
Like cut to like 3-4 years later, I'm in Romania making another movie with JP, who actually shot Dinner in America. We're working on a different movie, and he's talking to me, and he's like, oh man, there's a script that you would love. It was this movie that was supposed to go, and you would be perfect for it. And we started talking about it, and I was like, this sounds amazing. What is this? And he told me the name of it. He said it was this movie, Dinner in America. And it just sparked where I was like, I have heard of that. Why have I heard of that? And I went back into my email, and I typed Dinner in America into the search bar, and it popped up. And that was the movie that Ross had sent me like 4 years ago that I just spaced on reading. And I ended up reading it that night. And it was one of those things where I was like, how the hell? I mean, within the first 15 pages, he like lights the front yard on fire. He, smashes through a plate, like all this stuff. And I'm like, how did I not finish this? Like, how did I not read this?
I think he just got to the head of the dinner. He just got to the head of the dinner. He never read any more than that.
Yeah, that must have been it. And I read it that night, and I called my reps the next day, and I was like, yo, I have to talk to the director about this, and hopefully he's not mad at me, because I really, really want to do this. And me and Adam ended up talking for a couple hours, like 4 hours probably. And, I was in another country. We FaceTimed, we like high-fived over FaceTime. And,
do that.
I finished filming, and JP went to Detroit, and I met up with JP and Adam and Emily a couple weeks after that.
That was so fast. I forgot how fast it was.
It's a long time coming. Oh yeah, it was crazy. It was wild. It was like, what was it like? I mean, it was like 2 months or something, 8 weeks.
Buck and Bronco.
Yeah, it was fast. It was crazy.
So funny.
Right.
I guess that's my turn.
It is.
I just really, I got the audition. My agent sent me the audition, and I just really fell in love with the humor. I grew up with like Napoleon Dynamite and movies like that really influenced sort of like character studies that influenced who I was. And so I was really excited about that. And then I auditioned and sent my tape and talked to Adam, and then just really fell in love with Adam, and realized kind of like how much more dimensional the movie was going to be, and these characters were going to be, than what's kind of just on the page. And to be able to work with Kyle was really exciting. And I also thought Patty's like such a well written and also so complicated of a character, and for like a big cuddly man to write Patty was so intriguing to me. I was like, as a woman, I don't think I see a lot of characters like that well written, and so that was really exciting to me. And then we met, and the rest is history.
A cuddle bear writing women.
Yeah.
A big old cuddle man.
Big old chommy writing.
So I guess, because the dynamic, of the film is the relationship between Patty and Simon. And I wonder how much of the film was actually scripted versus improvisation. So, I mean, Adam, did you give them sort of like a lot to work with?
Yeah, we stuck with the script in this film. The script was very specific, and like the the lines are very quick, so there's not a lot of room. Now that said, there were times at the dinner table where Mary Lynn or Pat threw out some zingers that were killer. That was, so a couple of those stayed in. That I think there's one, just eat your taco salad or something like that. I just like, there was stuff like were little bonus ones that got thrown in, but there was a certain rhythm on the page and sort of, just sort of a rhythm to the whole thing. So that was super important to maintain that. So there wasn't a lot of riffing or anything like that in this film.
And I think part of why it might feel like it is because we had 2 months or 2 weeks of rehearsal before we even started shooting, which was amazing because it really got us to deepen into the characters and get to know each other in a way that you don't really get.
Bond with each other.
Yeah.
And bond with Lucy. I'm gonna tell you a story about Lucy. When she got there from Minnesota, she drove was all one swoop, right?
Yeah.
Just one swoop. She gets there, and I remember we were like, "Let's go out to dinner," and so we went out to dinner. We told Lucy the name of the restaurant, and she looked it up. She said she's gonna meet us there. And then she drove 15 miles away to the other one that was not the one that was 6 blocks where we were, but the one that was 6 miles or 16 miles or 66 miles or something.
Yeah, it was a good start. Good start to the trip.
I wanted to bring that up. How much I loved you right away. Just right away. Absolutely.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess sort of to bounce that as well. I mean, Sound Unseen is a music film festival, so talk a little bit about the music involved. And Kyle, I know that you have a background as well as a musician as well, and Emily, you're on Broadway.
He's shaking his head.
I know, but
oh, you're so modest, Kyle. You're so modest. Stop.
I have no background as a musician. I'm a lover of music. I'm a lover of punk and hardcore music. I'm a lover of, I grew up going to shows and things like that. I mean, I've toyed around a little bit with friends here and there, but no, I don't play any instruments or anything actually.
Now you have a background in music.
Yeah, right.
Now I have a background
in punk music.
Yeah. Skeggs is the real deal though. Skeggs is definitely, she's the real deal.
Very kind.
Skeggs can actually read music, so
very slowly. So can Lucy.
Yeah,
Lucy's also a musician.
I can scream into a microphone.
I think
we saw that warehouse show.
I think for this film music was so important just to, and it was important in our process too, because that was some of the very first things that we did to bond together was to record all of the music for the film. So that gave everybody this really solid emotional reference point to where we were heading when we got, to sort of visualize that film, because it's a very abstract thing until it's a concrete song that you're going to perform. Same for Kyle with the music. If we get to the punk show and Simon is just kind of a poser and it doesn't work at all, then it totally blows. And so it's there's a lot of trust and a lot of importance for the music to be correct for the film. So that can be something that worries producers up front, what's that moment going to be, what's it going to look and feel like. So I argued that it wasn't something that could be prefab for the film and then just sort of dropped and you just put the pieces in and now this girl sings and this boy plays, and it wasn't going to work that way. So it had to be designed with Kyle and Emily's energy. So that's was super important for us to get that correct for the energy that the movie was going to be. So if it was cast differently, the song would be different, all of it. So it's the collective of Kyle, what he brings and Emily brings, and then I would argue the cast and crew, all of it,
Well, and I think there was a level of authenticity too that came in with working with local punk bands, that the actual bands behind it not only are actually punk musicians, but are in the scene in the city that we are telling a story about.
Sure. Yeah. No, I mean, it does feel it feels, whatever period Dinner in America is, it feels like it's of that period and of that place for sure. It's saturated into it.
Well, and there's some great punk bands from, I mean, you said that you shot this in Detroit. You know, MC5 and Death are two that, you know, definitely come to mind.
Yeah.
But, you know, I also got sort of like a Black Flag vibe as well, and sort of like a Henry Rollins.
That's what I was looking for, like original, like I was, and what Disco Assault, who ended up doing the music for it, they're all about sort of Reagan era punk, and that is exactly the sound, you know, that I wanted. So when you pull up things like a Black Flag or Dead Kennedys kind of vibe,
Sure.
it's kind of like in there. I feel like Kyle was like, yeah, I mean, it wasn't quite a Jello thing. He'll tell you it was kind of a Rollins vibe, I think, that he was going for. Super shredded.
Yeah, I mean, even physically, that was kind of, I was going for like a young Rollins, even in that physicality, you know, that especially with Simon, like always that kind of like hungry dog kind of look, like he's always bouncing around, you know, he probably hasn't eaten for a day or two here or there, and you know, there was always that. Rollins was actually a big kind of focal point for me for quite a bit of it, actually. His aggression was right, you know, his physicality was right. There's a lot of Simon in there, or there's a lot of Rollins and Simon maybe. Yeah, but I definitely Black Flag was one of the things I pulled from, and Rollins was definitely one of the dudes that I pulled from.
You like those interviews that he does, like the aggressive kind of shit?
Oh, it's so funny. When that fucking poor kid goes, so do you think you're selling out? And Rollins just eats him alive. It's unbelievable. I love that video.
Yeah. Good shit.
You know, and something, you know, because with this film, there's a lot of settings. There's a lot of, you know, interior, exterior, you know, the pet shop, the various houses, you know, the scene at the end with the actual show. So, I mean, talk about some of the challenges in making the film, but also during filming, like even before you started.
Well, we had an amazing producer, Dave Hunter, who also works as a locations manager and has done a lot of on-the-ground work. So honestly, a lot of it was just driving around neighborhoods and Adam pointing out houses and saying that one, and then just knocking on doors and getting people to agree to it. Like, it was really down and dirty. It was really of where we were shooting. And because of that, I think people felt like they could connect with the project and wanted to be a part of it and were excited about it. Like, the grandma on the bus in that bus scene, and like the skaters,
the peppermint,
just pulling people and be like, you want to be a part of something cool. And I think with locations it was the same thing, but on the flip side of that comes the fact that you're not in Hollywood, you're not in LA, so you don't have access as easily to the same equipment and resources that you do in a film city. So like, we had to fly someone to New York and back overnight to get a piece of equipment for a shot that's not even in the film.
No, and no, there was like an accident in a FedEx truck with the original one, and somebody died.
That's right.
Yeah.
No so then they had to get someone to fly a new one in from New York overnight. Yeah. So lots of that kind of stuff. Lots of 30 degrees in the morning, 90 degrees by noon, because you're in the Midwest.
Also, too, you know, I think it was like you mentioned it, Jim. You mentioned that it's always kind of moving. It's not like a lot of lower budget films, they'll try to keep it in 3-4 main locations, you know. So this thing has like 60, 70 locations, and you're constantly bouncing all day long, you know.
And the amount of cast too. I mean,
there's like 70 or so speaking parts in the film as well. What is it, Lucy? Maybe 70, 75?
60 something, 70.
Yeah. So
go ahead. Yeah, it's got sort of a mixtape feel to it. Correct. Where you're, you know, scene to scene and mise en scène and connecting it all together to make it flow, and you know, it really does. So
we had a really incredible art director who really tied that together and spent a long time
Yeah.
finding the right things from vintage shops in the neighborhoods we were shooting in. Like Patty's bedroom, she had worked on for like 2 days before we shot in there because she had wanted to get the emotion right in the room.
Okay.
And she was super cool. And oh, sorry.
No, go.
To wrap it up. Oh, she let me dress some stuff. So actually, my childhood like teddy bear like dog thing is in the bed and stuff. She's really awesome. Frankie's amazing. Anyway,
this is a question from the audience. Was the on-set chemistry as good as it seemed on screen?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. The chemistry on this film was really good all around, because you have people that all want to be working together and you know, are there to push and do their best each day. So, you know, I think everybody that worked on this film had a really great attitude.
And I think the 2 weeks of rehearsal was really an amazing opportunity for us to really bond and get to know each other, and so that by the time we got to where we needed to be, we were ready.
Yeah, I mean, we spent so much time together. If we weren't working, we were hanging out. If we, you know, if like we'd go out to dinner, we'd just go, you know, I don't know. We spent like pretty much every second together. Like, and
weird
because we
candle shops.
Yeah, right. Like we dog rescues, all sorts of crazy stuff. But we loved being together. You know, like it was a genuine thing. Like we, you know, nothing felt forced. There's a lot of movies where like, hey, we're having a good time. When the movie ends, you guys never talk to each other. Like, you know, there's which is fine. But with this, it's like me and Skeggs like hang out. We talk. I literally drove and visited Adam and his family this summer. You know what I mean? Like we quarantined our family so we could all hang out together. Like this, you know, we've all stayed very close.
Okay. I mean, and this is, you know, another question just came in. Any chance you all work together again?
Oh, absolutely.
So.
Yeah.
I look forward to it. 100%.
Yeah. In a heartbeat, man.
Okay.
This entire group of 4.
Yeah, that's right.
This little pod
Absolutely.
of 4.
Okay. Yeah, not me. Good.
You too, Jim. You're welcome to join. Okay. I just, you know,
I'll figure something out.
I never will see you again when this is done.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I've got 2 more quick questions and then we'll wrap up here. But for Kyle and Emily, I mean, Kyle, I guess you sort of mentioned it. What were sort of some inspirations for the characters that you both played going into it? I mean, you mentioned Henry Rollins, but I wonder if there was anything else in any type of research that you did.
You know, I was fortunate where like that's a world I grew up in. You know what I mean? Like I spent time at punk and hardcore shows growing up, whether they were like local smaller shows or me and JP actually saw the Dead Kennedys together while we were in Romania filming. Like we did, and then weirdly JP filmed me, and then Adam creeped and somehow found other people filming and found us in the crowd through other people's Instagram videos.
Yeah.
And was like texting us pictures of ourselves. But I don't know, that's a weird story just for, I guess.
Weird shit. You know,
yeah, there was some weird meta shit going on there. But you know, it was a lot of that. It was a lot of just kind of living that attitude sort of all the time, you know, or turning it on and off, which was kind of funky in the beginning because I'm like a pretty polite guy. So like, you know, I remember getting to the airport and the first time I was like, all right, I'm gonna try Simon out just for a minute before I get there. And like I was really short with the ticket woman and I didn't say thank you. And I walked away and was like, oh my God, I feel so bad. You know, but it was just putting his skin on. And then Adam was super cool with conversations about, you know, talking about me coming up with the way I wanted Simon to speak and kind of his speech pattern stuff. And then working on the physicality of Simon, which is very kind of primal and animalistic. Like if you see when he eats, he's always hovered over his food. And, you know, it was kind of just the building blocks of that. And then, you know, making playlists and kind of always having that thumping kind of rhythm going on in my head, you know, and keeping that alive. And it's just about keeping Simon up to like 11 all the time. So it really was just kind of building him
And
up.
smoking
And
cigarettes.
yeah, smoking 1,000 fucking cigarettes and blowing out my vocal cords and like, but like Emily said, again, a huge part of that too was that first 2 weeks where we got to record the music, we got to hang out, we really got to step into these characters' shoes, because the world Adam created was so unique that I feel like if we had just tried to start on day one, we probably would have been playing catch up for about a week. So we
For
were really
sure.
lucky that we got that 2 weeks. So when we got into that space, we were just ready to go.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a long version of it, but
Yeah, it's great.
And Emily, real quick.
Yeah, real quick, I definitely feel very connected to Patty. She's very personal to me. I have spent a lot of my life feeling very weird and like I didn't fit in and like I didn't really know who I was or what I had to give to the world, I guess. And so this movie was really a wonderful opportunity for me to sort of like go back to feeling that way and fall in love with myself again in a way. Those things that everyone thinks are like not worthy, like Patty's naivety, or like how slow she is, how present she is, things that I kind of cut out of my own life thinking that's not what people want to see in a person. That I don't know, now I'm like, let your freak flag fly, be
Yeah.
yourself. Everyone deserves a little dignity, everyone deserves to just be them, and it's really enlightening and I feel happy.
yeah,
Well,
it's
both of
fun
you
to connect to that
Yeah.
misfit, man. I was just saying, it's
Yeah.
fun to connect to those misfits, you know, find those parts of you again that you, like Emily said, that you push aside, that actually are those really unique, important parts of you that it's nice
Yeah.
to get in touch with that again.
And then you recognize it in other people and then you think
Totally.
twice before you make a judgment about someone else. So that's cool.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I'll wrap it up. No, those were great answers. And Kyle and Emily, you're both terrific in the film.
Oh, thanks, man.
But real quick, just from everyone, what do you hope audiences, come away after watching this film? And what are the plans for the film if it's going to get a wider release?
Well, I'm hoping for, we're still figuring out everything in COVID here, like just what the release for this looks like. But what I hope audiences take away is just maybe a nice 2 hours away from things, like that's, I think, what this film does best, is it gets you out of your head for a couple hours. So it's nice. That's a nice thing.
Yeah. Lucy?
Yeah, I mean, like, I grew up loving genre films, and I think that's part of what I love about this. And it's kind of just like Adam said, like, oh, what if the world was like this? And it's just like everything is to 110%. And it's just, yeah, I hope that people find it as a good respite from everything that's happening right now.
And Emily?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I just hope that everyone gives each other a little bit more love, I think I hope it gets people to see people like Patty and Simon a little bit differently, and to see that everybody has something to give.
And
Yeah.
Kyle?
No, I agree with Emily. I think the majority of us have a little bit of Simon or a little bit of Patty or a little bit of both of these guys inside of them. And I think it's a journey everybody can kind of go on together or relate to. And, I feel like we all feel like a little bit of an underdog sometimes, especially right now. So to see, these two kind of go through it and get to go on that journey with them, I think will be a very kind of relatable, enjoyable experience, especially, in a time when the lows are pretty low. It's hard right now.
Together we can do it. We can be freaky together.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So hopefully this brings things up and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Up a notch, right?
Is that our new tagline? We
yeah.
can be freaky together.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Let's notch up together.
Yeah,
And
take it up.
yeah, I mean, being from Minneapolis myself, I'm wearing a Triple Rock shirt. This was the hardcore bar in the Twin Cities that doesn't exist anymore, but look up Dillinger 4 if you've never heard of them. So
yeah,
Dillinger 4, yeah.
Super
But
cool.
so
like Dillinger, Skate Plan Dillinger.
Yeah, yep, but just Dillinger
Yep.
4.
All right, cool.
So, but all right, that's all the time we've got. But I do have to thank again, Fantastic Fest, KFAI. Big shout out to Ross Putnam as well. But Adam, Lucy, Emily, Kyle, thank you guys so much. This is an incredible film, and we're so
Thank you,
happy to
Jim.
screen it Sound and Scene. So good luck and best wishes moving forward.
Much
Thank you
appreciated.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Later, y'all.
Bye, guys.